Okay, we are from Croatia. You're expecting Sanja, Maria, or Sonja, and I'm not Maria, I'm not Sonja, I'm not Sanja. I'm Dragica. I'm a coordinator of this project in Croatia. So our three volunteers couldn't came with us because they got new jobs and they couldn't get these 3 days for come with us and enjoy Eger. Okay, I will present their presentation to you. Let's go. In May, there were more than 4 million residents in Croatia. 333,000 persons is recorded on Croatia Employment Service as unemployed, and 59,000 persons is younger than 24. The number of those who are younger than 29 is even much more. Due to these disturbing numbers, members of the research team in local democracy agency CISAC decided to participate in this international comparative audiovisual project JobNet related to solving the problem of rising youth unemployment in many European countries. What inspired us to get involved in the project? We noticed that in Croatia there is neither systematic research that asks young people, meaning those in which this problem affects the most, which are the causes why they cannot exercise their fundamental human right, the job. We got a questionnaire survey, and our results I will tell later. We got 3 important cities that facing a crisis in central Croatia and their surroundings. These are those 3 cities, Sisak, Petrinja, and Kutina. You see how much people is there. 4 groups of examiners. There were students, employed youth, and unemployed youth. Everyone was between 16 and 24 years. There were a total of 370 respondents. Most of interviewed were 24 years old, and over 80% of respondents were 19 or older. Only 3% of them were 16-year-old, because these people are in high schools, and we knew about them, so we didn't go to high schools and get this survey. We tried to find them on the street, outside. There were 98% female, 59% of females, and 41% of males. The relative majority of these females were 24 years old. As for the males, the most common age of those questioned was 24 years. Distribution by city, you can see from Sisak is coming the 55% of people, because Sisak is the biggest city in this area. Distribution of unemployed by level of education, as you can see, most of them had secondary graduation, and lots of them are with a vocational certificate. Okay. The relative majority, okay, has secondary graduation. Vrati. It's very concerning that there are 25% of those with vocational education. They should all work in little mills or shops using their hands and knowledge. And it is not a secret that most of them are on black market, using their skills under the price and avoid paying taxes. That also causes states. This is distribution by year of unemployment. As you can see, most of them are unemployed in these last few years. All in the relative majority of interviewed have become unemployed for 1 or 2, maybe 3 years, and most of them have work experience, and lots of them do not have. Usually that was when they had a job that was fixed-term contract. From these data, it seems that it is not relevant for being unemployed if you have work experience or you do not have. It's a different situation in interviews, you will see. Distribution by the interviewed opinion according to own reasons of their unemployed status. Znači, where are the reasons of unemployment? What are the reasons of unemployment? Most of them think that they do not have experience, so they can find job, and there are not enough jobs. Distribution of answers for all respondents on question, what are the possible reasons for youth unemployment in your country? Most of them think that companies and institutions do not employ young people with no experience, and of course effects of the economic crisis. What would be the most relevant best practice of combating youth unemployment? Results from survey. Most of the respondents think that best practice would be making the labor market more youth-friendly. Lots of them also think that cooperation of local business sector and education to train young people for specific job will be a good solution, and they want more internship programs in local and national authorities. The answer, initiating a regional youth guidance program, is rarest elected. These responses are expected. Ourselves, we started from the assumption that the cooperation between schools and craftsmen should be better, that those who are educated should be allowed to use what they learn, and that everyone in state should be more friendly to youth employment. Which sector should come up with a solution on how to decrease youth unemployment? You can see political sphere and public sector are most responsible for this, in opinion of our respondents. We should say that our government investing efforts in solving this problem in the last 2 years, and today there are over 10 different modules that should help young to get their first job. Some things can be improved, but it is still great that they are started to combat with this problem. They consist that is the fact, it is just a question how good are public and youth familiar with these modules. Okay, they are existing, but people do not know about these modules. They are still secret. Main reason for giving up education and training prematurely, it is mostly social problems or lack of motivation. These social problems here mostly means financial problems. It is good a question to ask, why do they sense this lack of motivation also? Is it because of bad professional orientation in start or something else? This should be better investigated, and I think easy solved when we investigate that better. Conclusion of this questionnaire survey is that listed results show that youths are aware of this problem, they think about possible solutions, and they continue their education in hope that additional competency will help them. About our interviews, interviews were handled out with young people and employees from April to June this year. A case study involved 26 people. They were also from these 5 areas: unemployed, employed young people, experts who have experience in working with young unemployed people, 5 representatives of non-governmental organizations, and 5 people in public and private sectors that have an impact on the employment of young people. We asked them about unemployment, education, professional training for work, good practices, non-governmental organizations, and social issues and dropping out of school. Answers of unemployed youth about unemployment. What they said: lots of old workers who cannot retire until they are 65. So they are not what? They're not retiring, so there are no places for youngs. People, a problem of personal connection. Everyone thinks that if you got some connection, you get a job, and if you don't have any connections, you can get a job. The lack of knowledge, money, and education. Also, they are willing to accept a job outside their profession. They will rather work out their profession for low wage salary or something like that, losing their professional knowledges and working something else. Crisis did not help their situation. One of the biggest problems of unemployment in Croatia is that crisis that get us. About education, professional training for work, social issues, and dropping out of school, they said that education needs more practice. It's same like in Hungary, I think. Too many educated people are for the same profession. It goes to market saturation. PTV is professional training for work. Our program, it's here, but it has a lot of disadvantages and should be improved. Social issues, unemployment leads to the bad habits, spending parents' money, doing drugs or something else. Youth are dropping out of school because they are not motivated, have financial or family problems. These are answers of employed youth. They have more connections, social networks, friends, co-workers, so they even can maybe change their job because of these connections. Some have special skills, so they find a job. Others invested in their education and easier get a job. Problems on the labor market: employers are exploiting young people. They are getting them low wages and get them difficult work. So lots of them became demotivated and tried to find a new job. No new job positions. It's simple. Experts, what they said about economic situation, the education system, and the labor market. They said that the lack of productive investment, job destruction enterprises, and fiscal and parafiscal levies capacity leads to reduction in the production. So economic crisis is lack of production that leads to a disadvantage employing young and old. Demand side of the labor market is a huge problem and it leads to the brain drain. Also someone mentioned that brain drain before. About social problems, drop out of school and good practices, social problems, more illnesses and addictions, loss of friends and social contact, spending time on the computer and in virtual world. All of these are social problems that are coming out from this problem of youth unemployment. Dropout of school, combination of lack of motivation, learning problems, other social problems, bad teachers, lack of professional guidance, and economic opportunities. Young people are demotivated because they do not know what school to choose, because whatever you choose, you won't have a job. It's simple. Public institutions and private sectors. We talked with representatives of some private companies, Vatrostalna Sisak, Applied Ceramics, and Sipas Galdovo. Also, we talked with the Ministry of Defense and with INA, oil industry incorporation, MOL. About unemployment opportunities for work and good practices. What they said that the reason of unemployment are in young people. They have different view than young unemployed or employed. They said that young people have negative attitudes. Employers need people with work experience. No need for the young people with no experience. Opportunity of hiring via student service. They mentioned that there is opportunity to hire via this student service. But that student service often has these summer jobs or some short jobs. It's not long-term. What? Employment, yes. Become a cadet. That's a project of the Ministry of Defense. It's a good project, and we will talk about it later because that's our good example or best practice, good practice. INA cooperating with the secondary schools, they have competition for the best mentor of the school or something like that. It isn't even matter what the competition is. It's matter that they are trying to connect with these schools. It's okay. Students Association, as student and INA, they're connected in some way. They carry out some case studies and other competitions where young people can show what they know and maybe later get a job. Non-governmental organization, we had 5 of them. The Institute for Labor Market Development, Novi Svijet Uljanic, Croatian Youth Network, Rugby Club Arena. This is interesting because it's sports club and they are trying to they're trying to solve this problem. The sports club, it's strange. And as student association, we mentioned it, they are very good connected with great companies in Croatia. What they said about unemployment problem and possible solutions, they said that you'd have a problem during the writing CVs. Lack of information are in these CVs. Most of them are, in their opinion, inert, average, and not initiative. Young people are mostly seasonally employed during the summer in tourism. The big imbalance between the labor market and the educational system is in Croatia. Youth should invest in non-formal education, is the opinion of these representatives. Rugby Club Arena got Project Rugby to work. You will hear about that later. And student associations, they have this cooperation with companies, and that's a great opportunity. Our good practices that were mentioned in all overall are McDonald's, Mini Pekare, Drogerie Mart, some new companies which are dealing with new technologies. Here young people can be maybe better than older workers. This is Sanos, Selk, and Pharmas, and Tecom Applied Ceramics and Metronet. Applied Ceramics is also our best practice. You will hear later. Our recommendations and possible solutions. We got some solutions from the questionnaire survey, some solutions from our interviews, and some solutions are our own conclusion. We will see. From the questionnaire survey, we got results that best practice would be making the labor market more youth-friendly, cooperation of local business sector and education to train young people for specific job, more internship programs in local and national authorities, initiating a regional youth guidance program, and a career guidance program that involves partners and young people can reduce youth unemployment. From the interviews, we got some recommendations. Young people should volunteer to gain experience, put an effort in education, and be informed about various job opportunities. They should change some laws on company registration. They should get new measures or models that were mentioned, which allow easy self-employing. They're now existing, I said, but people do not know about them. It's secret still. Opening of new opportunities for education and employment after joining the European Union. Many of them think that maybe this joining the European Union can open new opportunities for education or going abroad, what isn't okay. Participation of young people in decision-making process and engaging in political and social life. Then investing in personal improvement like learning languages and acquiring new IT skills, specialization in advanced technologies, turning to rural areas and the revival of rural-urban links, seeking employment through non-standard channels. Everyone is seeking job through standard channels, writing CVs on the internet, but we saw from our interviews that people should go door to door Okay, they have to find some non-standard channels to get their job. Engagement in the work of NGOs and looking for their first job there. Our best practices are company Applied Ceramics CSAC, become a cadet of the Armed Forces, works awaits, that's the Ministry of Defense program, and volunteering is best good practice for, in our opinion. Applied Ceramics CSAC is a subsidiary of the American company Applied Ceramics, which is located near San Francisco. They are making custom-made products of ceramic, quartz, silicon, and sapphire for other industries. They have 40 employees, of which 18 workers are under the age of 24. They started in 2009 with the young team and primarily employ only young people. We see this as a good practice because they pick a specific or high-tech job. In this case, it's specific job. Second is to assemble a team of young people. Third is to educate them for these specific jobs. And the last is to start employing them in new enterprise. just to grow up with company together. Okay, our second good practice is become a cadet of the armed forces. Work awaits for you. Everyone who ends this program gets a job. Our Ministry of Defense is giving scholarships, and every person who finished this has a job. They know where they will work. It is great because cadets learn general subjects at different colleges, and they also get military training in summer and winter camps. They have contract with scholarships with the Ministry of Defense, after which they formally become cadets of Croatian Armed Forces and have job. It's education plus training in this specific area means job. Okay, volunteering. Volunteers are a gift to the community. Why we see this as a good practice? It gives opportunity to acquire new competencies for young people, to learn new skills, to gain this experience, which is the biggest problem of not getting a job, no experience, no job, and help other people in satisfaction. Also, this volunteering means that people are staying in doing something. They're not just at home or on streets, or these social problems which were mentioned are decreased in this way. Some of our conclusions from both researches are: all young people should get good professional orientation in elementary school to avoid quitting school later and to start early development of competencies required for specific jobs. Every employer under the law should have program developed for training interns. Young people should get together and start companies. The government should make that process simple for them. All kinds of NGOs can and should develop some programs for young and unemployed people which will help them to seek and find a job. Volunteering is a great way to start, so there should be much more companies and NGOs where young people can gain experience. After finishing school, young people should stay in contact with their school until they find job, just to stay in touch with their generation, profession, and have place where they belong. Because after secondary school, if you not have a job, you don't belong anywhere. Local schools, companies, and NGOs should be linked in some way to avoid the over and undereducated people for certain professions. Preferably, young people should be trained for predetermined positions, like in the Ministry of Defense. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Comments? Okay.
Maybe I can add some figures. Why I said Croatia is the best here. Our statistics are unfortunately very bad. We have 52% of young people younger than 30 years old unemployed. Our Prime Minister in Paris said that he doesn't believe in these figures. Yesterday. Maybe just to mention, in Zagreb, in capital city, we have 43% of unemployed young people under 30 years old. And it's a capital in which lives 1/4 of our inhabitants. So Croatia, we have good practices, we have good projects, good programs, but it's still very, very bad situation. So we are the second EU country with the best figures in youth unemployment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The lunch is waiting for us 2 p.m., so we still have 1 hour to continue. And now there is a roundtable discussion is coming, so I would like to call the participants of the panel.